Hello my YouTube friend, this is Not Mechanic here, and today I'm working on a 2000 Toyota Tundra. What I'm doing today, I am going to be removing and installing the wiper motor. Toyota was nice enough to put it in the front. It's in the passenger side, and what you're going to need is, for this job, you're going to need a 10mm socket. I'm going to be using an impact gun to speed things up. You're going to need an open wrench of 12mm. And you're also going to need a marker or some tape. So let's remove this, and hopefully I can help you out to save some money. This wiper motor is held down by this wire harness, and also with these 4 bolts here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to remove the wire harness. And right in the top, the wire harness has this tab here. All you got to do is just press it. Once you press it, you remove it and it comes off. Now that we removed the wire harness, we could start removing these bolts. Like I said before, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And when you remove it, be careful you don't lose this metal piece. Now that all these 4 screws are off, you can see it's still held down. It's held down with a bar that's inside. So what we have to do is we have to put the bar out, because there's a nut inside there. If you try to pull the motor, it's not going to come out. The reason being is right inside there's a rod. There's a rod, and there's a 12mm nut or bolt that's in here. In order to remove this, you have to raise that wiper. While you're raising the wiper, the metal rod that's there is going to come out. You're going to need both hands for this, because you have to wig it. If you try to do it with one hand, what happens is when you bring in that up, that metal rod is going to hit in here. So let me set up this camera and give you the best view I can. You see, if you try to pull it, it's not going to come out. Like I said, you have the rod there. So now, when I'm holding this with one hand, with the other hand, I am going to be picking up the wiper. Once I be picking up the wiper, you're going to see this rod right here coming out. But you have to hold it for it can come out this way. If not, it's going to hit the frame. So now that the wiper blade is all the way up, you can see that we're exposed to a 12mm nut. And you're going to need an open wrench, and you're going to have to hold this tight with one hand, and with the other hand, you're just going to be removing it. There he goes. Now that it got loose, when you take this nut out, there's a washer there. You don't want to lose it. Now sometimes it's very hard to pull this out. When you take that out, you're going to need a screwdriver or something to pry it out. Let's see how it goes. You know what I forgot to mention? You have to mark it. So make sure before you loosen it up, you want to take your marker, and you want to mark it. Just put a straight line so you don't lose the orientation of it. Make sure you do that first before you remove that nut. Okay, be careful. You got the washer there. There goes the washer. Now that I got that out, we can pull it. Let's try our luck. Nope, it's tight. So what we have to do is take something like this or a regular screwdriver and just put it here and try to pry it out without bending this. Takes a little work, but there you go. Woo! That was hard. So you have to put something there and pry hard. It's kind of tough, but you can do it. Just make sure you hold it. So there we go. It's out. And also just make sure you remember how it goes. This goes straight. So you removed it. Now you want to install it. When you install it, all you do is take this. See, there's a hole there with the bar. And all you have to do is just put it in there. Now, you don't have to compress it or nothing, because when you screw in back the nut, it's gonna tie it up itself. So just make sure you put your washer, and once you put your washer, put your nut back in. And don't forget where you have the line at. Hold it with one hand, and with the other one just try to tie it up good. Okay. Now that it's in, we want to put this back inside. So the way to do it, you push this in right here. You take the wiper blade and you bring it down. When you're bringing it down, this is going to go in. See that? It's going in. Now that it's in, you want to make sure that these holes here where the screws go at match the holes on the motor. You don't want to go too far. Take the screws, you take this, put it in. I want to do it by hand first. Goes that. Gonna take the other one. Want to screw them in, but not too tight yet, because you want to make sure you get the ones in the bottom. Okay. Now we got to get the ones in the bottom. Now we're going to put the ones in the bottom. Make sure that the hose matches the hose with the frame. And once you do, just make sure that this metal thing is back. And you put them in by hand first. Now you use your 10mm socket and start screwing them in. Make sure it's nice and tight. And now you just put your wire harness back in. Goes the wire harness, and all we have to do is just take it, push it in. And that's it. And you have replaced your wiper motor on your 2000 Toyota Tundra. So once again, this is Non-Mechanic. If you have any comments or questions, please post them down below or contact me on nonmechanic101@yahoo.com. That is nonmechanic101@yahoo.com. And remember, if Non-Mechanic can do it, you can do it. Later.